It's time for a talk. All right, this week we looked at a message about the priority of sharing the gospel with people. And during the message, there was a question that was asked, is sharing the gospel a family priority? And when that question immediately was asked, I sat there and said to myself, yeah, I think sharing the gospel is a family priority for my family. But then the follow-up question was this: do you have a family strategy to share the gospel? And when that question was asked, I had to say no. And the thing that really struck me with this is that if you answered yes to question number one and no to question number two, then the real answer to one and two is no. Because what is true is that we plan and strategize around our priorities. And if sharing the gospel is a priority for your family, then you will have a plan or some sort of strategy to do that and accomplish that in your family. So as I thought about that, it was just rolling in my mind over the past couple of days. Even during the message, I couldn't get it off my mind. And the first thing that I think that we need to do is this: have a family talk. When we sit down and have a family talk, the reason that we need to do this is because I think if you're like me, you don't have a strategy, and we just need to be open and honest about that and say, okay, this is an area where we have failed, and we've actually failed our family. So dads, husbands, I think we need to sit down and have a family talk and look at our wives, look at our children and say, hey, this is an area that we have failed, and we need to move forward and begin to develop some sort of strategy. Now, the first thing though that I think we need to do is we need to understand and know what the gospel is. And there's a difference between knowing and the ability to explain what you know. So one of the best ways to actually develop the ability to explain what you know or to share the gospel is to write it down. So I would encourage you to get your family, each member of your family, to write a paragraph explaining the gospel. When we explain the gospel, what we don't want to do is not be specific. Don't be ambiguous about it. Be like, the gospel saved me from my sins and brought me new life. We know that, and I'm sure if you understand and know the gospel, then you know that too. So be appropriate, but also be specific. Talk about what the gospel actually changed in your life. What were some strongholds, some sins that actually had a hold of your life, and how the gospel came in and how Jesus came in and actually began to transform your life and bring you out of those things. That's what really connects to people's stories. And if you're going to share the gospel and actually connect to someone and show them what the value of the gospel, you're going to have to connect it to everyday and real things in their life. The second thing is, let's develop a strategy. The first thing I want us to understand is that we probably need to ask suggestions and ideas from our family. So let's ask for suggestions and ideas. This is something that I haven't done yet. I plan to this week, so I'm going to do it right alongside you, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to ask my family, my wife, what are some suggestions and ideas that she has that can help us begin to develop a strategy. And if you have any suggestions and ideas that come up during your family talks, we want you to come on here and put in the comments, share those ideas and add them in as we try to develop this strategy, this family strategy together. And guys, men, we need to take charge of this family talk. We need to take charge of developing the strategy for our family, but we also need to listen to the wives, the women in our family. Listen, women tend to be more relational, so that's going to help us. You get women in a room, they're going to talk. Guys are going to stand around and look at each other. That's just what we do, okay? But also get your kids involved. Get your kids involved, because listen, kids are creative and bold. And so they'll help bring creativity to developing the strategy. And this is very practical. Let's just begin here. Let's just ask for suggestions. Let's be open and honest about our failures in the family talk. And let's actually get to where we can explain the gospel and show people and through verbally what it looks like to experience Jesus in our own lives. If you want to check out our last video, click here. If you want to connect with us on social media, and if you want to subscribe, we hope that you do, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click here.